Words without a context can carry a simple meaning and still mean nothing at all. It is a simple question, isn't it? Who is the victim? Is it Reiko? Sakura? Manami? Three poor teenage girls that met their demise in the most horrible way, with extreme violence and brutality. The pain and sorrow for those who met them will linger for a long time, since it is always shocking and tragic when someone in such a young age, with their lives ahead of them, suddenly die. So many questions to be asked, but what for? Now they will never be answered, because these three girls are not going to be able to say anything anymore, to imagine, to predict the future. For them there is none. Still there is a question to be asked. Who is the victim? Who is the real owner of the meaning of the word that up until now has no context, therefore no significant meaning? The three girls can't provide this answer, but there is one who can. Welcome back to the Onryo Horror Channel, where together we find out that the dead can speak, and speak the truth. Detective Watanabe looked intrigued at one of the dead girls' phone. The messages were just something that the detective at first didn't want to believe, but then again, he can't say he didn't see worse. Since Reiko was the first victim, he decided to start with her. He took her laptop and phone. There were some private things there, things teenagers with hormones at their peak could keep. Nothing that would surprise him at all. He wished that was only videos and pictures to her boyfriend he would find, but no. There were conversations between four girls, and pictures of a fifth one. Even though Reiko was popular, she hid a very dark and unpleasant personality that was shared among the other two victims and one other girl, that as far as he knew, was still alive. Reiko to her parents was a princess, very polite and sweet. She had a school group in school that would feed the homeless of Saitama Prefecture. The teachers loved her, and so her friends. At least the ones she chose to be her friends. By his findings, there were other three kids that would disagree with the statement that Reiko was even a decent person to be nearby. Chiharu Yamada, Hikiko Aomori, and a boy called Tetsuya Nakata. All of them at pretty much the same age, around 15 to 16, were all Reiko's targets of bullying. It seemed that the young princess, besides making adult private videos with her boyfriend, had another hobby: to humiliate and harm those who wouldn't obey or defend themselves. She had several videos of some of the acts she was responsible for. The first one was from the young Tetsuya, that she made him wet his pants under the threat of breaking his arms because he didn't give her money. All the other girls were there. Manami and Sakura were laughing and sometimes kicking the boy on the floor. And so he did. Reiko made him walk back home like that. They made sure to follow him from a distance and see him go inside his house. At the end of the video, the three of them, with another one who Watanabe later found out the name was Yumi Hibara, posed together and smiled, saying, "I think now he got his lesson learned." In the area he is used to working, this kind of evidence was a walk in the park. Nothing compared to the scenes where the girls, or parts of them, were found. That was really shocking. It was logical for him that the first move was to talk to those who didn't like Reiko, and obviously didn't like the other three girls in the video. They were always together. And he had to do it fast. Since one of them was still alive, Watanabe feared it wasn't going to be for very long. If there was a suspect to be found, keeping in mind everything he thought it was impossible, maybe he would find in those 3 kids. Watanabe arrived at Tetsuya's house. His mom welcomed him and told that the boy was in his bedroom. As he entered, he saw a very simple room, nothing out of the ordinary. The boy was a scrawny one, very shy playing his Nintendo Switch. Tetsuya immediately got up and greeted the detective.
Hey, what are you playing?
The Legend of Zelda.
That's pretty cool. When I was your age, I used to play Ocarina of Time.
I have that on emulator on my computer.
Tetsuya looked down and then looked back at the detective again.
You're here because of the girls that died, right?
Yes. Do you know anything that can help me with it?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm a little worried. If students of my classroom are, dying, do you think me and the other students are in danger too?
We are working on it so no one else gets hurt.
The detective looked at the boy and said,
Look, Tetsuya, I know that you were bullied by the girls that died. They made videos of you now, didn't they?
Tetsuya stood up and closed the door to his bedroom.
You didn't tell your mom.
I didn't tell anyone. My mom has problems enough already. Since Dad died, we have been having a very hard time. She doesn't need any more problem to deal with.
And did you deal with the problem yourself?
The detective asked just to see the boy's reaction, but he knew Tetsuya would never kill anybody. Tetsuya looked firmly into the detective's eyes and said,
I didn't kill them if that's what you're asking. I hated them, yes. But they were just not worthy of my throwing my life away in prison for that. And honestly, the only thing I can think about is that they won't be picking on me anymore. I am not happy they are dead, but I'm not sad about it too.
There was nothing more to be said. Watanabe left and went to Chiharu's house, but this time he wasn't so lucky to be able to talk to the girl. She was at her psychologist. He talked to the mother, and she said because of the girls bullying her and now the killings, she got really scared. She didn't want to leave her bedroom. She said that Chiharu was constantly having night terrors and would wake up screaming. Chiharu would often say, "Mommy, she is coming back. She is coming back." Detective Watanabe asked who the girl was referring to, but the mother said Chiharu didn't say. That somehow stuck in the mind of the detective. He needed to talk to Chiharu, but the clock was ticking. He decided to go to the house of this girl named Hikiko San. It was in low-class part of the city. The apartments were made only for a simple nuclear family, parents and one child. He knocked on the door, no answer. He tried the knob, the door was locked. He tried again knocking, but then again, no answer.
No one lives there anymore, you know?
The detective turned around to see a woman around her 40s, almost 50s behind him. She had a tired look and gave him a faint smile.
If you are looking for the people who live there, you are out of luck. They don't live here anymore. As a matter of fact, they don't live anywhere anymore.
What do you mean?
They are all dead. The girl, she ended her own life. The parents died in a car crash trying to take her lifeless body to the hospital. Hikiko, the girl, threw herself in front of a bus. They say her body was dragged for around 600 meters. The doctor said she was already dead when they found her. It was a very tragic event.
Before Detective Watanabe could say or ask anything, the lady continued.
He used to beat them, you know? The girl more than the wife, but still, the screams were almost every day. The mother, Tomoko, was the only one that worked, but he would get almost all the money she had and drink it. He arrived at night and then all hell would break loose.
And no one thought, even for a second, to call the police? or to do the least human possible thing, to check on them, to offer help?
I don't meddle in other people's affairs. And who are you, sir, to be asking all these questions?
Watanabe showed his badge.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Well, now you see. You should have seen something before. You might have missed the opportunity to save someone's life.
Without saying anything else, the detective left. As he was driving, he thought about the kids. The boy felt relief for the 3 dead bullies. Watanabe couldn't judge him. It is extremely easy to be the holy saint and be hypocritical enough to say that it doesn't matter who is the person that died. You should always feel sad about it. The detective knew this was bullshit. Kids who are bullied, they are just because they exist and they don't match with the required appearance or social status that a bunch of stupid teenagers that don't have the money to buy their own toilet paper impose them. It was just relief, at least until another one of these kids would pick on him. The girl, Chiharu, the detective felt he still needed to talk to her, but that could wait. Now, the girl Hikiko was dead. She took her own life, and as for the videos he had seen, the 3 dead girls and one that is still alive had a huge role in this girl's mental breakdown, and not having any parent support to ease the pain, but on the contrary to intensify it, by an alcoholic father that used to beat her. Things might have been really tough for her. He looked at an envelope resting in his passenger seat. He had to get to Yumi Hibara as soon as he could. As he was getting close to this girl's house, he saw a group of teenagers talking, drinking, smoking, and laughing at a kids' park. He recognized one of them. It was Yumi. He stopped the car, grabbed the envelope, got out and walked towards them. Ayumi was 16 years old. She had a ponytail and was wearing heavy makeup. She smoked a cigarette while talking to some other boys.
Hibara Ayumi?
She turned around to look at him, annoyed. She was interrupted.
Who's asking?
Detective Watanabe showed his badge. The other boys quickly said they needed to go and left.
I need to talk to you.
I have nothing to say to the police.
You seem pretty okay with all your friends dead.
Well, people die, you know, just like you and me.
But they were your friends, weren't they? You were together when you guys bullied those 3 kids. Tetsuya, Chiharu, and Hikiko.
Ayumi's turned pale when she heard the last name, but tried to act cool and started walking away. The detective grabbed her arm.
Get off of me, you fucking perv. Let me go.
Detective Watanabe opened the envelope and showed the photo of Reiko's decapitated head on top of a desk and said,
Do you want to end up like your friend here?
Then he showed another photo of their mutilated body parts.
Do you also want to have your body scattered all over the place? Arms in the bathroom, legs in a river, torso gods know where, do you?
Ayumi screamed, horrified, when the detective threw all the pictures on her face.
They were your friends and you don't give a shit about them. What is wrong with you? Is that the kind of reaction you want when people find your dead body all over Saitama? Is that what you want? I am trying to help you, so you better start telling me everything you know about your friend so I can understand what the hell is going on here. Otherwise, you will end up just like them or even worse.
Ayumi started to cry. Later, they were back at the police station sitting down face to face talking.
It was just for fun, you know. None of us really wanted to hurt them.
You're lying, and you know that. From all the videos I've watched on the dead girl's phone and computer, your main target was Hikiko Aomori. Why?
It was all Reiko's idea. She didn't like Hikiko because once she was the most popular girl in school. Everybody knew that she had problems at home. Her father was drunk all the time, you know. And her mom, well...
Her mother what?
Well, people used to say that Hikiko's mom would do some services for single or even married random man for money. There are rumors saying that she even went to bed with one of our teachers. And it turned out the rumors were true. And so it began. Everyone looked at Hikiko differently.
And so it was Reiko's chance to become the next big thing.
Yeah, I mean, Reiko was always jealous of her. And so we got together to go after Hikiko. It was almost too good to be true because she started to come to school with some bruises and she became awfully quiet, alone in the corner of the classroom.
And so you started assaulting the girl.
There was a moment of silence.
Reiko was the first. Once we found Hikiko, alone in the classroom staring out the window. Reiko grabbed her head and banged to the desk. She said that Hikiko was as ugly as her prostitute mother. Then, the other day, Sakura almost broke Hikiko's arm in the bathroom and then put her head in the toilet and flushed.
And you guys were always together when those things happened.
Yes. And then, Manami once saw Hikiko walking in the hallways and pulled her hair that made her fall to the floor. A piece of Hikiko's hair was in Manami's hand.
Ayumi didn't want to say anything else anymore. Noticing that, Watanabe said,
And what did you do?
Ayumi looked down.
I burned her arms and legs with cigarettes.
You know that this girl, Hikiko, is dead, right? And that probably your and your friend's fault.
Look, I didn't mean for her to die, okay?
Yeah. Well, too late for that, don't you think? The point is, there is someone that knows this, and this person is taking revenge on you. I mean, let's be honest here. You guys gave plenty of reason for that to happen now, didn't you?
Ayumi grew scared of having the notion that she might be the next victim and probably would die the very same horrible death as her friends did.
Look, I told you everything I know, okay? Can I go now?
Yes. But if you have anything at all that you might know and could help me find out who is doing this, let me know.
What about Tetsuya and Chiharu? Aren't they suspects? I mean, they were also picked on by us.
I don't think they will do anything to you.
The girl gave one more look at the detective and then left. Watanabe, alone in his office, looked up trying to think in all of what was happening. He was interrupted by one of his colleagues saying that there was someone wanting to talk to him. Then Chiharu and her mother entered his office. I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Watanabe, but Chiharu wanted to talk to you since I told her you came to our home. The detective stood up and bowed.
Please do come in.
The girl sat down in front of the detective.
She is coming.
She? Who is she?
Chiharu looked at the detective almost like as if she was in a dream.
I know who did all this. She did. And she won't stop. She is coming back.
Chiharu. Who is coming back? Tell me so I can do something about it. Who is attacking the girls in your school? Tell so I can stop her.
Chiharu then looked serious at the detective.
You can't stop her. You can't get her.
Watanabe looked puzzled.
Why? Why not?
Because you can't get who is already dead.
Chiharu, what are you talking about? Who is this person? Who is dead? Who is coming back?
Hikiko. Hikiko San.
If you liked this video, please consider subscribing and liking to help us bring you more Japanese ghost stories. Thank you for watching.